Hey guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Boost! Peekaboo, I see you because I'm YouTube famous now. Available Christmas 2027 and a half BC the album. Dad, shimmy, shimmy, and rock on gold dust. Boost. Woman. How are you guys doing today? Okay, so, you know, it's been an interesting couple of weeks. I feel like every day I wake up to tons and tons of DMs. So for those of you that know, I'm hardly ever on the Twitter anymore. So if you want to send me some information, send it to me over on the Instagram. Every day I wake up to, like, it's a minimum of 100 DMs from people, right? And so yesterday I started getting sent DMs about Nikocado Avocado coming back to the internet. I will be completely honest with you. It's been a long time since I have followed Nikocado Avocado. I have made that very, very clear on my videos. I don't follow him regularly. I didn't even know that he was missing from the internet. I think that I saw, I don't know, or maybe even like mentioned it in a video, or maybe I did a video about it. I don't think I did. But it was, I guess 7 months ago is when he posted his last video. But I wasn't really even that much aware that he was missing from the internet. No, in all honesty, I wasn't. I think at first he like, I don't even know. I don't even know. But I started getting messages from people last night and they're like, did you see that Nikocado Avocado is back and he uploaded this video? And all the DMs that I was getting were people were like, I'm so happy for him and you know, this is so great. He's lost all this weight. And I was like, it was interesting because I've seen this come up a lot, like on different, like I'll see different like commentary videos from people, and they'll say like, oh, Nikocado Avocado like lost a bunch of weight, and then I'll go watch the video, and it's like a fake video. It's not like he didn't really lose the weight. And so I'm like, is this real? Did he really lose the weight? Like I had no idea, right? And so somebody had linked the video, and so I went to it and I watched the video. I have it sitting up right in front of me. I thought that I would do something that I don't typically do over here. I'm not going to show the video in the film, but I'm going to play it in the background, and I want to kind of react to a little bit of it. So I went and I watched, there's two videos actually. So the first video is called 2 Steps Ahead, and he posted the video, let's see, 16 hours ago, and it is currently sitting at 9,959,000 views, which is like unbelievable, right? Like that's tons and tons of views. And then I went in and he has underneath here, I think it was in the first comment, he has it linked, maybe. Yeah, the first comment, he has part 2, and he has it linked on his other channel, his Nikocado Avocado 2 channel. And so I went and I watched that one. Both of them are very, very similar. It's almost kind of like watching the same video twice. The first video, he starts and, you know, actually, while I'm sitting here talking to you, I will just take a screenshot so I can show it to you in the camera head. But he is wearing this, what do you call it? Like this, this bear hat kind of thing, which I was like, oh, is he, I'm confused. Is he now like an EDM DJ? What's going on here? So he's wearing this, like this bear hat, right? And you can already tell that he's like lost a ton of weight. And I was like, oh wow, like this is a completely different Nikocado Avocado. Like this reminds me of back in the days when he was doing like vegan, like he was vegan and he was like, people would say he was too thin, that he was emaciated, and then he started doing a lot of mukbangs, and he was doing mukbangs then, but he like switched over to exclusively doing mukbangs and things like that. So I was like, this is interesting, like what does he have to say? And I was, to be honest with you, like it's interesting reading the comments. Y'all know I'm not a bullshit artist, okay? I'm just not a bullshit artist, so I'm gonna tell you exactly what I think about this video. I kind of want to watch it again today to see if my opinions have changed a little bit about how I felt about it last night, because I watched it last night and then I watched the second part of it, and in all honesty, I was kind of like, like I have some feelings about this, and then I woke up today and it was literally like massive amounts of DMs. And so the last 2 weeks have been like me getting DMs about people that I haven't covered in a long time over here, like Amy Slayton and things like that. And I was like, this is so interesting, you know, that the whole internet is consumed with him. And so the 2 steps ahead kind of refers to him as this was kind of his plan all along. He doesn't really say it. I don't remember him saying it. People are speculating that he was using pre-filmed videos long before he like took a hiatus from YouTube and filming videos, and that he had like pre-filmed all these videos, and so he was posting those videos, and he's actually been on like a weight loss journey a lot longer than that. Maybe he says that somewhere in the video, but I don't think he does. But so let's just like, I just want to watch some of this video at the beginning and just kind of give you my reaction to it a little bit. So here he is with the bear, and
2 steps ahead.
2 steps ahead.
I am always 2 steps ahead.
He says he's always 2 steps ahead.
This has been the greatest social experiment of my entire life. It's alluring. It's compelling. It's great.
So he goes in there and he says he's 2 steps ahead, he's always 2 steps ahead, and that this has been a social experiment that he's done. And so you go into it and you're like, oh, so this is, the weight loss is a social experiment. So that was like the first thing to me that I was like, okay, this is an interesting way to come back and approach all this. It's his gotcha moment, is what it is, okay?
To observe all these unwell, disoriented beings roam the internet in search of stories, ideas, rivalries, where they feel encouraged and engaged, where they involve themselves with the stories and become a product of influence.
So what he's talking about in here is that this is a social experiment, and that I guess what he's insinuating is that his weight gain through the years was a social experiment to come up with the, I'm so confused. I'll be honest with you. I've interacted with Nick before in the past. You know, there's a lot of people in the last couple years that have been accused of, or not accused, but people have speculated that they were doing social experiments. The first one was Shane Dawson during Dramageddon when he was filming all the footage, and people were saying that all of this drama that was occurring with James Charles and Toddy Westbrook and all this kind of stuff was contrived drama. To see how like drama channels responded. I don't know if you guys remember this, but I can tell you on the receiving end of it, I greatly remember this, okay? I mean, it was literally like I got bombarded with comments and DMs about this. That people were speculating, they're like, Shane Dawson is a genius. Shane Dawson is coming up with, this is a social experiment that he's doing. That Shane Dawson is doing all of this to respond to the drama, that none of this is real. Like none of this stuff with James Charles and Toddy Westbrook is all contrived. And the real documentary is not really about the release of the palette with him and Jeffree Star. The real documentary is really about how the internet responds to drama, is what it is. So that was the first thing that was really big. The second thing that was really big was when Def Noodle's career started to just tank, right? When he started the Comedy Store and he started to, you know, do all this kind of stuff. People, you know, were speculating, and he was like getting on video and he was like apologizing in one video, and the next video he was like screaming and yelling at the internet, and he was coming for people online on Twitter and things like that. And so people were like, is this a social experiment? Is like Def Noodle's trying to ruin his own career and he's documenting all of it? And so he's going to come back later and he's going to say this is a social experiment. That was the second one. The third one that like got a lot of attention was Gabby Hanna. People speculated that a lot of what Gabby Hanna was doing when she did her tell-all videos, where she came out against Jesse Smiles and she came out against Joey Graceffa and Daniel Prada for Escape the Night. She came out against Trisha Paytas. That a lot of people were speculating that Gabby Hanna was doing a social experiment, okay? Well, what we know in retrospect is that none of that was true about any of those 3 people. None of those 3 people were doing a social experiment, okay? So is it surprising to me that during that time, Nikocado Avocado, that follows some of those people very closely and has watched some of those people for years, has mentioned them in videos. I know he's watched those people for years. With the exception, I know he's watched Gabby and Trisha closely. So is it surprising, and Shane, and is it surprising to me that all of a sudden he loses a bunch of weight and he comes out and says it's a social experiment? No, it doesn't surprise me at all. What surprises me is that he doesn't explain really what the social experiment is. That was where I have to be honest with you, like just looking at this from an outsider's point of view. First of all, this is not how I would return to the internet, and I am on a weight loss journey, and I am documenting it, and it is very, very slow. I think I lost 1.4 pounds this week. I have basically just maintained my weight for the 30 weeks that I've been doing it. So I can tell you right now that if I came back and I had lost 250 pounds, well, I mean, if I had lost a massive amount of weight and came back, this would not be the way that I would do it. This would not be my first video, and everybody's got to do things different ways. So before I even get into this, I do want to say this, okay? As somebody that really distanced myself from Nick Avocado, and I've said the same thing about Amberlynn Reed. I don't, people have asked me so much to do documentation about Amberlynn Reed and Foodie Beauty and things like that, and I've thought about it. I really have thought about it, because my stance for a long time was, I'm not okay with watching people who are monetizing their physical health and hurting their physical health at the expense to make money. Like, that was really my issue, right? So I'm really glad that he like stepped away from that. I will be honest with you, like there were a lot of people, and I was one of them at one point, where his weight and his joking about his weight, which apparently I guess he's now saying is part of his social experiment, was so concerning to me that I honestly, I really did think that something tragic was going to happen to Nick Avocado. So I'm very, very happy for him. And Nick, if you're watching this video, congratulations to you. You know, congratulations to you for your weight loss. I'm a big believer in turning your wounds into wisdom. And I hope that you share your story with people and you share how you've lost the weight and what that's for you, if that's something that you feel comfortable doing, because it's an inspiring story. It's a really inspiring story, you know? And people did have a lot to say about his weight. That's why I stepped away from it, right? Like, that's why I stepped away. Because I was like, I'm not going to be part of this joke. But I think the other thing that people forget in this moment, of which I'm very, very happy that he's healthier now. And I mean, physically, he looks fantastic. He looks great. He looks really, really healthy. And it's not just the weight loss. Like, you can tell, like, he's been working out. You can tell all that, right? Like, I'm so happy for him. I'm happy for him, not on an internet level, not on a gotcha moment level. I'm happy for him on a personal level, right? Like, to attain that kind of goal on a personal level is so amazing. But when I watch this video, it feels to me like there's so much bitterness and anger there. And I'm like, to some degree, in having watched Nick through the years, I'm like, you know, Nick, I think maybe one thing that people are forgetting in this moment is that you kind of were, you know, it was interesting because I was watching last night. Hold on, I want to get the exact quote, because I was watching the secret lives of Mormon wives last night, and somebody says something about Whitney in there, and I loved, well, somebody says in there, I'm just stuck here with a bunch of sad moms, which is so true, but she says this thing about Whitney, and I loved what she said. She wants to be the victim of her own behavior, and I thought that that was such an interesting quote, and I wanted to remember that. There have been moments in my life, trust me, you know, even in the last year, that I wanted to be a victim of my own behavior. But when I look at the career of Nikocado Avocado over time, and I'm not somebody that watched every video of his at all, didn't even watch every 10th video of his, but I did follow him for a while of what was going on online, right? Like, Nikocado Avocado, for years, people were concerned about his weight and things like that, and he continued to make all these jokes about it. Now what he's saying is that this was a social experiment all along. I would like to see the documentation of that, to see where this was purposeful. And then for me, my issue is, you know, we've seen a lot of people that have worn like the suits where they're heavier and things like that, and it makes them appear heavier, and that's a social experiment. But the social experiment is that you literally were willing to risk your own health for a social experiment, to then have a gotcha moment online because everybody was so mean to you over your weight. I think it's horrific when people are mean to people over their weight. I think that's horrible. I've been the product of that. I'm body shamed literally on a daily basis on the internet. Literally on a daily basis. I've talked about that in my last couple videos. You know, that there are people that throw up this picture of me all the time, right? And I'm like, pictures of me all the time. I think that that's horrible when that happens. I just don't know that this is how I would return to the internet. I don't know. I think, like, when I think about Nick Avocado, obviously a lot of people talk about his weight, but long before he was like, had gained a lot of weight, I mean, there was a Stephanie Sue situation, there was how he talked to people, his audience. I mean, that was long before he had gained a lot of weight. Nick Avocado has been trolling the internet for years, okay? That's just the truth. And hasn't always been nice to his own audience, let alone other people. And so I can tell you, I have had that, I've had that interchange with Nick Avocado. I mean, he was not friendly to me whatsoever when I went out and tried to stick up for him, and he wasn't friendly to me at all. I mean, it was not enough, right? And so I'm like, well, was that part of your social experiment? When I was sticking up for you and you told me that that was not enough, and nobody else was at that point, was that part of your social experiment, or are you just really an asshole? I mean, like, I'm just confused, right? You know, I mean, I've met heavy people, I've met thin people, I've met in between people. That doesn't necessarily define them being an asshole or not, right? It doesn't necessarily define whether or not they're trolling things. So that's a separate issue for me. So it's interesting to me that this is how he comes back. And that's just how I'm saying it. On a personal level, as far as him getting healthy and losing weight, congratulations. I think that's amazing. It's inspiring. It's not only inspiring to other people, it's inspiring to me. I'm sitting here watching it, I'm like, if Nick Avocado can do it, and I've been stuck in maintenance for 30 weeks trying to lose weight, I have no excuse in the entire world, you know? His job is eating, right? Like on video. And he has done all this and lost weight. I think it's incredibly inspiring. But this is interesting to me about how he comes back and says that it's a social experiment. So, let's go on.
Thirsty for distraction from time unspent, spoiling their minds, yet stimulating at the same time. It's brilliant, and it's dangerous. I feel as if I'm monitoring ants.
So he's talking about his observation of people and how they view him. And he's doing a lot of this, and he's talking in this way. But if you really break it down, the way he's talking, it's very similar to how Nick Avocado has talked in videos for years to his audience. It's very arrogant kind of talk to his audience and how he views the world and things like that. So like, I'm in this moment watching it. This is not a whole lot different to me than him having that tight t-shirt on and running around in a room joking. The voice is very similar to me, and so I'm like watching this and I'm like, is this real? Is this not real? Like, having interacted with Nick, having seen other videos of him where he's interacted with other people, where there's like a very real interchange, like this is a character. So I'm like, okay, so is this a character? Is this part of your social experiment too? Like, I'm confused at this point, right? This is separate to me than the weight loss. The weight loss and the physical health, I think it's fantastic. This to me, I'm confused. I'm confused about this.
On the ant farm. One follows another, follows another, follows
So he's
another.
talking about people being ants, and he's observing ants.
All these little consumers, all of these lost and bored people. People consuming anything that they're told to consume.
He takes his bear hat off.
Because I made myself one.
So he says he is the villain because he made himself one, okay? Well, I'm kind of now wondering, when did this social experiment start? Because at some point it became exaggerated with the way that he would talk to Orlin and things like that. Now, do I think that there was a crossover at some point? Yeah. But if you go back and you watch his videos, I mean, that has been Nick Avocado for quite some time. He would do a really nice video where he was nice to everybody and then did a mukbang, and he's driving through some fast food place, and it'd be like really nice and really funny and really friendly. That's what people really liked about him. Then at some point it kind of turned into this joke where he did turn himself into the villain. But was that part of the social experiment? Because you're talking about 6 years ago. Because that was when I've been on the internet for 8 years doing videos. I remember it was about 2 or 3 years of being on here that I started seeing that, and there was a change in Nick Avocado. So you're talking your social experiment has gone back 5 years. All of the weight gain, all of the arguing with you and your husband, all of that stuff, the joking about the OnlyFans, you're doing your OnlyFans, the way that you talked about it, the way that you talked to your audience, all of that was part of the social experiment. I would like to see, instead of this, I would kind of like somebody, I'll tell you what I would have done differently, but anyway.
And you will continue to consume these stories about me, year after year after year, for as long as I tell the internet that I am the villain. Stories that permeate and linger and affect the minds of the ants, influence the ants, brainwash the ants.
So now he's saying that it was always his choice to be the villain, and that he wanted to be the villain, and that was part of his plan, and that people are going to continue to consume stories thinking that he's the villain. And I'm like, okay, well, first of all, I never thought of you as a villain. I don't know. Maybe other people did. I don't know, but that was never my take, okay? My take was that you were somebody that actually was doing very, very well on YouTube, was getting tons and tons of views, and that you were risking your physical health over that. I didn't take it to, I don't know. I just, that's what I thought about it. I never wished you any ill will. I just didn't understand it. I didn't get it. And I didn't understand the fighting but I could tell that the fighting with your boyfriend was joking, except for that y'all talked so horribly to each other. You spoke so horribly to Orlin. So you're saying that you always wanted to be the villain, okay, and that you made yourself the villain. This is where I'm confused about the video.
You are the ants.
So we're the ants and he's watching us, is what he's saying. And he's dictating what we see and how we see it. Okay.
Today I woke up from a very long dream. And I also woke up having lost 250 pounds off of my body. And just yesterday, people were calling me fat and sick and boring and irrelevant.
Okay, so he goes, just yesterday, people were calling me sick and fat and boring and irrelevant. is what he says. Okay, this is very similar to me of Nick Avocado 7 months ago. Like, this is, like, the attitude is no different to me. It's the arrogance, it's the ego and the pride, right? Congratulations on losing the 250 pounds, okay? People were just saying that about you yesterday because you haven't said anything publicly for 7 months. Nobody's known what's going on with you. So I guess that was part of your social experiment, right? And he said he's always been 2 steps ahead.
People are the most messed up creatures on the entire planet. And yet I've still managed to stay 2 steps ahead of everyone. The joke's on you.
I use secret.
Okay, so then he goes in and he starts eating these noodles, and the joke's on us and all this. The joke's on us because he's always been 2 steps ahead. I'm not buying this, okay? I'll be honest with you. Like I said, congratulations on the weight loss. I don't know. Like, people are speculating. People are sending me DMs, and they're like, the last we can see, he probably pre-filmed a video. He hasn't been really filming videos for the last 2 years. People are trying to put it together and figure it out, and things like this. And people are trying to figure out, like, how long has he really been gone from the internet? Like, it's not been 7 months, because he didn't apparently lose his weight and get in shape in 7 months. So people are speculating that maybe he's been gone for like 2 years and he pre-filmed a lot of content for that. Maybe that's the case. I will tell you, but he's been active on, like, Twitter and OnlyFans, I think, and less than that. I don't know, maybe people are putting that together too. I haven't watched him that closely. All I know is this, is that people wanted to know what I thought about this whole situation with Nick Avocado. So let me get in here and let me tell you what I think about the situation with Nick Avocado, okay? I think that I am really impressed that Nick Avocado has gotten physically healthy and has lost a lot of weight. I think it's super inspiring, and I'm really happy for him. I'm really happy on a personal and physical level for him. Congratulations to you, Nick. I think that that's great. People ask me all the time, like, what would you do in this situation? What would you do in that situation? Audience members ask me. I get DMs from people. They're like, what would you have done with this? This is not how I would have returned, okay? If I was Nick Avocado and I had been trolling the internet, because you don't know what's real now in retrospect, right? Looking back. And he's saying it's part of a social experiment. Well, how much of it is? Are you gonna, I mean, I'm looking on here. I don't think he's posted another video since this. I mean, he posted the one on the second channel, and he said that was where he was gonna start posting, hold on a second. He said that's where he's going to be posting, was on that second channel. When I watched that video, he said, I will be posting over here. This is where I'm going to be posting. This is #1 on trending, by the way, right now. So the second one is called Hi, and this is on Nikocado Avocado 2, and that video has 2.4 million subscribers. So hold on just a second. Let's see if he has posted anything on there today. Okay. No, he's just got the High one, and then the last one from there is 3 months ago. I quit my weight loss journey, time to get fat again. So, and then 5 months ago, McDonald's mukbang, and then 1 year ago. So we know that those have to at least be pre-filmed, okay? Because at that point, he hadn't lost all that weight. Although this, I quit my weight loss journey, time to get fat again 3 months ago, he actually looks a lot thinner than he usually looks in that. I didn't watch that video. People are saying, I want to look at this video for a second. People are saying that he pre-filmed all this. Why is this not playing? People are saying that, for some reason it's not playing, that he pre-filmed all this video, but like in this video, he looks like he's lost some weight. Playing the ad for you, Nick. There you go. Okay, so, hold on just a second. Let's see. Like I said, I haven't kept up with him that much. This is not playing for some reason. I don't know why. It keeps on just stopping. Yeah, it won't play. I have no idea why. Anyway, but in the thumbnail, he looks like he was a lot thinner 3 months ago. So maybe he has been doing this all along, and he's been doing great. Congratulations. I think that that's fantastic. I would not have returned this way, and people want to know what I would have done with this. If I were going to return this way, and I was bitter about how the internet had treated me, first of all, there's no way that Nikocado Avocado, unless he has absolutely no self-awareness whatsoever, can look at his videos where he's like, and he's like, and he's making all these jokes and whatever. I mean, explain the social experiment. I'd love to hear your research dissertation. My social experiment was that I was getting a bunch of hate for being overweight. That wasn't what all the hate, I mean, a lot of that was for that, but it wasn't all of that. And you yourself were making jokes about your own weight. That was my issue with it. My issue was that, that you were compromising your own health for views and clicks. And if this is a social experiment, that even goes greater to prove that that's exactly what you were doing. That you were gaining weight to see how the internet would treat you. I mean, that's like, I don't know, like the comparison of that, of somebody going out and doing something really harmful for their body just to see how the world would react to them. That to me, like, I'm not going to touch that. Like, I don't know, like, if that's part of a social experiment that you want to participate in, okay, fine. I'm not down with that. That's not something I want to be part of. If your social experiment is that people were so mean to you over your weight, I get that, right? And so you're 2 steps ahead because you lost a lot of weight and you came back and you are going to prove everybody that you were 2 steps ahead because you were wrong, because you pre-filmed videos, you took a 1.5 years off to film videos or whatever. I think that that's fantastic. I think that's great. I think a better serve, I think the reason why the video is sitting at 9 million views is because you called it 2 steps ahead and you came back and you said I'm the villain. But you're the villain of what? Like, I'm so confused about this, and maybe this is partly why, because I don't follow Nikocado Avocado that closely. But I'm very confused about all this because I'm like, I don't know. For me, if I was going to come back and I was going to do a video like this, I would come back and I was going to say that I took some time off to, I mean, it's not even, what's the social experiment? That you took time off and you pre-filmed videos to come back and show everybody that you had lost weight? Congratulations. I come back on video, and this is where I am so tired of watching influencers that it's all fakey bullshit all the time, right? Like, come back on video and be like, you guys, you know what? Like, I have been so unhappy for such a long time, and here's who I am, and here's the big reveal, and I've lost 250 pounds, and I'm so proud of myself. And for all of those people out there that said that I couldn't do it, that whatever, you know, like, that just kept me coming back. You know, a good story for this is that, like, my friend Tanya always shares this story. So I've been sober for 29 years. My friend Tanya has been sober for 28 years. And she shares this story with a lot of people, right? That when she first got sober, she would have a lot of people that would say to her things like, oh, you're not going to make it. You know, like, I mean, she got sober at a time where there weren't a lot of women getting sober. And they would say things to her about, like, being a woman in sobriety. Those things she'll say are things that kept her coming back because they doubted her. They didn't believe her, right? When I got sober, I had a lot of, like, old-timers, older people that would say things to me like, I've spilled more alcohol than you drank when I got sober, right? And so for me, like, that made me just be like, you know, I want to do this more. And some of those people today are like people that have looked at me and been like, I'm so proud of you. Like, I never thought that you would make it, right? But to come out with this attitude of this very arrogant, and I was always the villain, and I'm gonna be the villain. And girl, what's going on? I'm confusion. Okay, what are you saying, girl? What's the social experiment? That you left the internet after getting a lot of shit, and that you came back and lost a lot of weight and proved it to everybody that you could lose weight? Congratulations, I think that's fantastic. But you know what? You could have come back with a really authentic video, and you could have been like, you know what? People have given me shit for years for being overweight. And so, you know what? I turned it into it was a meme already. So I turned myself into the meme because I didn't really know what else to do with it. You know? I mean, I just said in my video the other day, long before he came out with this video and talked about being the meme of the internet, I said, you know what? I'm going to take back my power, and this picture that people keep on throwing up of me all gutted on a beach with my gut all big and all this kind of stuff, smoking a cigarette, I'm going to throw it on a piece of merch because I want to take back the power of that, right? I said that in my video. And so for me, it's like, this was him turning himself into the meme was kind of taking power back over being the meme, right? But he could have come back and explained that and said, I have been really hurt the last couple years. Like, I'm a mukbanger that really struggled with trying to continue to do my views or make my videos and keep my views up while at the same time losing weight, and people are making fun of me. And so I just turned myself into the joke. I think a lot of us in life that have been made fun of, we've done that. We've turned ourselves into the joke at some point, but what a teachable moment to come back and say to anybody out there that has ever felt the joke, you know? It's not always about turning yourself into the villain or being 2 steps ahead. Sometimes it's proven to your haters that maybe, or proving to yourself more than that, right? That you're good enough to deserve better, right? So that's what I did. I took some time off the internet and I proved to myself and I proved to everybody that doubted me that I deserved better, that I deserved something better. And you do too. And you can do it too. Okay? So if you need to take all the time you need to get healthy and take care of yourself, like I wasn't willing to do for a long time, and people kept on attacking me, and now look at me. I came back and I'm 250 pounds thinner, and I'm proud of myself. And I'm going to continue to do mukbang videos. And I'm going to continue to stay healthy. And I'm going to prove to people that you can do that, you know? And I'm the happiest I've ever been in my life. What an inspiring video. But to come back with his bare head and say that you did a social experiment, girl, where's my fan? Ma'am. No, I'm sorry. Somebody explain that social experiment to me. I mean, listen, okay? I am not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I'm missing the social experiment. And I watched a couple of these commentary videos, and I feel like everybody is like kind of dancing around it because it's like, I feel like we live in this world where we can't say, is this video about to stop? It's going to stop in about 45 seconds. Hold on a second. Okay. You know, ever since I have done drama commentary, it's like we have always had, like, there's always been a villain and, you know, a good person. And I'll never forget, years ago, somebody said, I can't remember who it was, I feel like it was maybe Angelica Oles, but somebody said in a video, like, the internet still cannot conceptualize that you can have two villains at the same time, right? Like, whenever we were talking about people, whether it was two beauty influencers or two people, whatever, that maybe both of those people were shit people, right? And so, it's like, for me, it's like we can't have two opposing ideas. Like, I watched a couple of these commentary videos today, and everybody's kind of like, hey, like, Nikocado Avocado proved us all wrong. What did he prove us wrong? I mean, I just showed you his last videos. His other video was 7 months ago. It's him and Orlin fighting in the thumbnail. The last video that he did on his Nikocado 2 video channel is called I Quit My Weight Loss Journey. Who did he prove us all wrong? I doubted him because he doubted himself. You know, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, Nick, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I believed what the story that you were putting out there. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I mean, I didn't think that behind the scenes you were, you know, doing the elliptical machine and lifting weights for 2 hours every day. I never questioned that because you were putting this out there. You were putting it out there and you were being shitty to people and you were saying stuff, right? And maybe that was a response to the negativity that you received, and I totally understand that. I get that, right? But then that would be also another teachable moment. But now I feel like all these people, like I'm watching these videos, and I mean, and to be honest with you, I haven't watched one video from anybody that I know. Like all the videos that I was watching were from nobody that I know. I just like clicked on Nikocado Avocado and just went down. And it's like everybody's like, they're like tiptoeing around the subject because it's like we can't have two opposing ideas, right? Like it's like we always had to have a villain and like a princess. You can't come out and say, hey, I'm really proud of Nick Avocado for getting healthy and losing weight, and I'm so happy for him. But this stance is kind of weird that he's coming out and talking about how he's always been the villain. When can we take a little responsibility for how you put yourself in that role? And then he says in there that I made myself the villain and you always perceive myself that way. Well, my question to you would be, Nick, why have you always wanted to be the villain, okay? Because when I came out and I defended you against Trisha Paytas, and I said that you deserved to have an apology from Trisha Paytas, and then I said that in a video, and what you said to me was that I didn't address it deep enough, or I didn't whatever, and I was like, you know what? I wash my hands of this, because I have said more than anybody will say in a video out of defense for you, okay? I said more than anything about you, right? And so, was that you playing the villain? Because then you turned around and you did a video with Trisha Paytas, okay? I didn't get any apology for that, and I don't need apology for that. I don't really care, okay? You've been on my radar for a long time. But I'm just wondering, like, in that moment that you were an asshole to me in DMs, like, was that part of your social experiment? So, how am I supposed to differentiate the tweets that you put out that are nasty to the things you say in videos? Are they joking? Are they real? This has nothing to do with your weight. This has to do with your attitude. This has to do with your arrogance, okay? Like I said, we can't have two opposing ideas. And so I see all these people tiptoeing around this subject and they're like, oh my God, like, oh, he fooled us all. He didn't fool me. Congratulations, you know? I mean, if I saw a friend of mine tomorrow that I hadn't seen in 2 years and she lost 100 pounds, I'd be like, damn, girl, you look good, you know? Like, a girl, that ain't Spanx. You look good. You know, she'd be like, hey, thanks, I appreciate it. I wouldn't be like, damn, she fooled us all, social experiment. What? What? I am confusion about this, okay? No, the reason why I reference Steph Noodles, Shane Dawson, Gabby Hanna, and the other people that people have said is a social experiment in the past, because anytime somebody does something that makes no sense, okay, and we try to make sense out of it because we love them, we call it a social experiment. I feel like Nick Avocado picked that up left the internet. I think his health was really at risk. I think that he left the internet and was like, okay, I got to do something about this. I don't know, maybe he had doctors or people telling him, I have no idea that he needed to get healthy, but he did, and congratulations to that, okay? But then his return, instead of sharing this authentic story of like, man, I was overweight, okay? And my health was compromised as a result of it. And I was really worried about myself, and a lot of you were worried about me too. Sure, a lot of you were really shitty to me and were really hateful, but there were a lot of people that stood by me. Go look at the comments on his video. They are all in support of him today, okay? So I don't know what that's about, this gotcha moment. It could have been a teachable moment, but instead it's a gotcha moment that you're so smart, you've always been 2 steps ahead. And I know that this is not a popular opinion, and I know that people are going to eat me alive. I don't really care, okay? I don't really care. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of whatever, okay? I mean, here you've set in motion. You can't, and this is where, I want to make this very, very clear. When he says in there, I'm going to be the villain as long as I want to be the villain, and you guys will continue to watch it. What he's saying is, I ain't going to change who I am now that I've lost weight. So you're going to continue to watch for the asinine shit that I say in my videos and how rude and nasty I am. That ain't going to change, okay? Well, I'm glad you lost the weight, okay? Maybe that ain't the only thing you need to work on. So here's my social experiment for you, okay? Maybe you don't want to be the meme of the internet. It's not always how you look. It's sometimes what you say, you know? I've had to learn that too, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I mean, congratulations to him on this. I just, let's go in here and read some of the comments. I want to see what some of the comments are. Let's go in here to the hi video, because this is where he said he's posting it on here regularly. I don't know why the other video on there won't share, but it says, nothing makes sense anymore. That's the top comment. What does somebody say? 154. I know, right? I feel like I'm living in the Matrix. Is this a fever dream? That's because he was 2 steps ahead. This feels like a Twilight Zone episode. Deception is like that. We have been trolled. Man, is this reality? Okay, let me tell you something. When I met these, I was just talking about these girls yesterday in my vlog. When I met these girls when I was like in 9th grade, okay? I've been friendly with this girl since like kindergarten, elementary school, and all this kind of stuff. This is my friend that I've been friends with all through the years. She introduced me to these 2 girls, and they were twins. And they moved here from, I thought I said Missouri, but it was Wisconsin. They moved in here from northern Wisconsin. And so we ended up becoming friends. But I can remember at that time, the shy, awkward, having social anxiety, Peter Monn in 9th grade. I had no friends. And so I would sit at this table with them. And I remember they would ask me questions. They would say, like, do you like the band Chapstick on the Lunch Table? And I didn't know what to say. And I'd be like, oh yeah, I love that band, And then I would kind of like look over and I'd be like, oh, there's Chapstick on the lunch table. Or they'd be like, do you like that band Cup of Coffee? And I'd be like, oh yeah, I love that band Cup of Coffee. And be like, oh, there's a cup of coffee here, right? And then they would be like, can we ask you some questions to get to know you better? And I'd be like, yeah. And they'd be like, is it round or an orange? And I'd be like, what? And they'd be like, is it round or an orange? And they did all these these girls, you want to talk about, they hazed me with these bullshit questions, and then later they would laugh at it and they'd be like, you just look at us like you were crazy, like, is it round or an orange, right? Okay, I used to think they were so smart and they were so brilliant, which they are, by the way, but that had nothing to do with that moment. In that moment, what they were trying to do was pull one over on me. This is Nick Avocado pulling one over on me. I'd like him to come out and explain this social experiment. Maybe he's going to do that in a video. Maybe I'll eat my words. Maybe he'll say, you know what, I've been documenting this and I'm going to show you guys the video footage of it. And 5 years ago, I decided that I was going to do the social experiment. And I'm kind of confused why people aren't asking for this. If anybody else had done a social experiment about if Def Noodles had done a social experiment over ruining his career, or if Shane Dawson had done a social experiment over the drama actually being about what his documentary was about, people would have expected that there was documentation in there, or at least explanation of what the social experiment is, right? I'd like to kind of see that video, that on November 19th of 2019, I decided that I had had enough and that I wanted to start getting healthy. And that was the moment that I kind of really turned myself into the meme, and I wanted to see how people would respond to it. And I started saving a lot of comments and, consistently followed certain people that really hated me and started following how the internet perceives me as a person. And I started looking at certain groups of people that would consistently follow me. And even though they said they hated me, they would continue to follow me. What a social experiment that would be, right? And at the same time, I had pre-filmed so many videos. Now, as somebody that goes on vacation, vacation, I will just tell you this. As somebody that goes on vacation and tries to pre-film vacations for 7 channels, it is extremely difficult to pre-film videos for a few days ahead, let alone for 2 years, okay? The amount of organization that would go in to pre-filming videos for 2 years ahead of time and putting all that together and editing it and making sure that the space looked the same and that people weren't going to clock certain stuff. I mean, you would be literally filming like 5 to 6 videos a day over the course of like 2 months, 3 months, and editing those videos and putting, I mean, that is unthinkable to me when people are speculating about that. Maybe he did, I don't know. But if he said, my plan was to take 1.5 years, 2 years off the internet, and I was going to get healthy, and I pre-filmed all these videos because I wanted to continue to monitor what people would say about me, and I did. And then I wanted to come back and you know, do the social experiment. I'd like to kind of see that. But for me, honestly, I mean, okay, I never thought of Nick Avocado as the villain anyway. And for me, the video, when I'm watching it and I'm listening to it, comes across as rather arrogant, if you want to know the truth. I did think that Nick Avocado seemed rather arrogant. I thought that's something that I have thought for quite some time. A villain? No, not really a villain. Arrogant? Yeah, absolutely. Thinking he knew everything? 100%. Not being sure whether or not the arrogance was a joke or if it was really truly who he is. That was something that I questioned too. After watching these 2 videos, am I still confused on whether he's truly arrogant and or if this is just part of the social experiment? And what is a social experiment? Yeah, I'm very confused. But in all of that, am I very happy that he's gotten himself happy or got himself healthy and hopefully that he's happy today? 100%. I'm very happy for him. Anyway, I don't know. I want to go underneath here and read some of the comments on the other video as well. And let's just see what people are saying. Well, let's go down here. Somebody said nothing makes sense anymore. Okay. He said he hasn't done a video in almost 2 years. So I guess in the second one he said that. He filmed enough backlog of videos to keep up entertainment, concern, and controversy for all that time. Dude is a fucking genius. I'm not sure I buy that. I don't know, I mean, he was only posting up a video like every couple months. So maybe it wouldn't be this one. So am I a genius because when I go on vacation, I film videos for all of my channels? I don't think that makes me a genius. I don't think when people like go on vacation or they know that they're going to take a summer hiatus, that they prepare for that summer off. I mean, what, to prove a point? Because he's going to lose weight? I mean, I'm confused as what the social experiment is. I'm happy for him, but I'm confused. What's the social experiment? Because he's coming across as like he's really pissed at everybody. What are you pissed about? Can somebody explain to me what he's pissed about? Is he pissed because he gained a lot of weight and then made a joke of him gaining weight and then the people responded to it? I'm confused about it. What's the social experiment? Or is the social experiment that he filmed a bunch of videos, pre-filmed videos, so that he could take time off to get healthy? I think it's smart. I don't think it's genius. I don't even think it's a social experiment. But I'm happy for him. Like, I don't know. I don't get all this. Okay, bro actually trolled the entire internet and then dropped the most unexpected plot twist ever. I mean, we really don't know how long it took him to lose this weight. I mean, in all honesty. I mean, I've seen reality stars drop this kind of weight in literally 6 months. So who knows? I don't know. You kept your promise, Nick. You lost your weight before hitting 30. Good work. Okay, I mean, a lot of people are like, they're really, now pick up the violin. Somebody said, film videos when he was fat, then release them after the Oompa Loompa era while he was losing weight. I love you, Nikocado Avocado. Bro pulled off the biggest what you see on social media shouldn't be trusted of the century. Okay, so that's the, I guess that's the experiment, is that what you see online you shouldn't necessarily believe because it's not the truth. Oh my God, is that the social experiment? That everything you see online? Girl, have you been watching my channel for 8 years? Then my whole fucking channel is a social experiment because nothing that these people do is real. Nothing! Nothing these people that they do is real. Oh my God, is that the social experiment? I don't know. Nick, congratulations for coming back. Congratulations for losing weight. I am very, very happy for you. I hope that this and everything going forward gets you everything that you want in life, and I probably still won't watch your videos, but congratulations. I wish you all the best. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.